People called me the family disappointment at every dinner, so I disappeared without a trace. The rain was already failing against the window when Lily sat down for dinner. She could smell her mother's roasted chicken and her father's favorite garlic bread. Everything looked perfect, except for the silence that felt heavier than thunderstorm in Lily's mind. Please tell us the time and country you're watching from, because it really matters to us, and I pray that God bless you all and fulfill your heart desires as you listen attentively to this life-changing stories. Across the table sat her brother, Ethan, the golden child. Everyone said he was brilliant, perfect grades, perfect smile, perfect everything. And then there was Lily, the family disappointment. Her mother didn't say it out loud tonight, but Lily could feel it in every clink of a fork, every sigh her father made when she spoke. "Pass the salt, please," her mother said, eyes still on Ethan. Lily passed it, quietly. Ethan laughed about his new internship. Her father's face glowed with pride. Her mother said, "You make us so proud, Ethan. You've always made the right choices." Then her mother turned her head, slowly, toward Lily. "And you, how was your day, dear?" The word sounded gentle, but Lily could hear the question beneath them. "Did you mess up again?" She forced a smile. "It was fine. I finished my painting today." Silence. Then a small laugh. Ethan smirked. "Painting doesn't pay bills, Lily." Her father joined in softly. "Maybe if you tried something practical for once." Her throat tightened. She looked down at her plate, cold chicken, mashed potatoes, a lonely green bean. She whispered, "I like painting. It makes me happy." Her mother exhaled deeply. "You say that every year, but when are you going to do something with your life?" The rain outside grew louder, like it wanted to hide her pain. "Now my audience, if you're the one, would you ever forgive them? If you were Lily, would you sit there quietly, or finally speak your mind? Comment below, because your answer might just save her later." That night, Lily didn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling, remembering every dinner, every insult, every "why can't you be more like Ethan?" It wasn't anger she felt anymore. It was emptiness. Like she didn't exist in that house at all. In the morning, she walked past her family's photos, the framed smiles on the walls. She wasn't in most of them. The few she was in, she was always in the corner, slightly out of focus. Her brother called out, "Hey, disappointment, don't forget Mom's making pancakes." She smiled, not because it was funny, but because it was the last time he'd ever get to say it. She walked to her room, closed the door, and packed a small backpack. One notebook, her sketchbook, her favorite pencil, and a small photo of her late grandmother, the only person who ever told her she was enough. At exactly 9 a.m., Lily left home. No note. No goodbye. Just vanished. What if your family only noticed when you were gone? Would they cry? Would they search? Or would they just move on? Think about it, because Chapter 2 might just reveal their true hearts. By noon, the family noticed. Her room, empty. Her phone, gone. Her bed, untouched. Her mother dropped a plate. Her father's voice cracked for the first time in years. Ethan laughed nervously, "She's probably just doing some dramatic artist thing. She'll come back." But she didn't. Not that day. Not that week. Not for years. Somewhere deep in the city, Lily was standing by a bridge, rain dripping down her face. She looked at the water, so peaceful, so endless. Her sketchbook was wet now, the colors bleeding together, red, blue, gray, like her feelings. Then, a voice beside her said, "You look like you could use a fresh start." She turned. A woman in a yellow raincoat smiled at her. She was holding a coffee cup and a stray cat in her arm. "Who are you?" Lily asked softly. "Someone who disappeared too," the woman said. "Come on. You can't stay in the rain forever. Would you trust a stranger with your life? Lily just met someone who might change everything, or destroy her. The rain had slowed to a mist, but every drop still clung to Lily's hair like little pieces of glass. She stood by the bridge, her backpack heavier than it looked, her heart lighter than it had been in years, because for the first time, there was no one to disappoint. The woman in the yellow coat held out a steaming paper cup. "Hot chocolate," she said. "You look like you need something warm." Lily hesitated. Her mother always said never to accept things from strangers. But her mother had also said art was a waste of time. So maybe, just maybe, strangers were safer than family. She took the cup. The chocolate tasted like kindness. "I'm Clara," the woman said. "And you?" "Lily." "Pretty name. Suits you." They stood in silence for a moment, watching the gray water ripple under the bridge. Clara smiled gently. "It's funny. Every time it rains, the city washes away a few secrets. But some secrets hold on no matter how much it pours. My wonderful audience, what secret would you wash away if you could? Type it in the comments below. Sometimes sharing it out loud makes the rain fall softer." Lily followed Clara to a tiny cafe tucked behind a flower shop. It smelled like cinnamon and hope. A sleepy black cat sat on the counter, tail twitching in slow circles. Clara nodded to the barista, who waved without asking what they wanted. Clearly, she came here often. "So, Lily," Clara began once they Saturday, "what made you run away?" Lily stared at her cup. "I didn't run. I walked. Quietly." "That's the best kind of running," Clara said. "The kind where you move so softly that no one hears you leaving until you're gone." Lily looked up, surprised at how easily this stranger understood her. Clara's eyes were kind but carried something else, like she'd known the weight of disappearing too. "Ever met someone who understood you before you even spoke? If yes, drop a red heart emoji below. If not, maybe this story will help you believe it can happen." Clara worked at a community art studio for children. She told Lily about it between sips of coffee. "You can paint there if you like. Or just sit and think. No one judges." The words, "no one judges," hit Lily harder than she expected. At home, judgment had been the language everyone spoke. She nodded. "Okay, maybe just for a day." Clara smiled. That's how forever usually starts. The studio was hidden inside an old warehouse, its walls covered with drawings of smiling suns and crooked hearts. A radio hummed softly. A group of kids painted at long tables. Lily's eyes widened. "They look so happy." "They are," Clara said. "Because no one here tells them their colors are wrong." Lily picked up a brush, dipped it into blue, and let it swirl into green. For the first time in months, she forgot to be invisible. If colors could talk, what color would your feelings be today? Comment your color: blue for calm, red for brave, gray for tired, yellow for hopeful. When evening came, Clara offered her a small room upstairs, just a bed, a desk, and a tiny window overlooking the street. It was more than Lily had ever asked for. "Are you sure it's okay?" she asked. Clara nodded. "Everyone deserves a safe place to start again." Lily smiled for the first time in weeks. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet," Clara said softly. "Just promise me one thing: if anyone from your past comes looking, you'll let me handle it." Lily frowned. "Why would anyone look for me?" Clara's smile didn't reach her eyes. "They always do, eventually." Would you trust Clara if you were Lily? Write yes or no in the comments, and tell us why. That night, Lily lay in her new bed listening to the soft hum of rain on the roof. She opened her sketchbook and drew two figures standing on a bridge, one in gray, one in yellow. Above them she wrote, "Sometimes angels wear raincoats." But just as she set the pencil down, she heard it, footsteps on the stairs. Slow. Careful. Too careful. She froze. A gentle knock followed. Lily? Clara's voice whispered through the door. I forgot to ask, do you still have family in the city? Lily hesitated. No. Not anymore. Good, Clara murmured. Then you can sleep peacefully. The footsteps faded away. But Lily didn't sleep at all. Because even though Clara's tone was calm, there had been something sharp in it, like a secret that hadn't decided whether to help or to hurt. Do you think Clara is hiding something? Please, if you're not subscribed yet to this channel, quick tap on the subscribe button now in order not to be missing our daily stories. Morning sunlight slipped through the tiny window, turning the dust in Lily's room into slow-moving stars. She blinked, unsure for a second where she was. Then she remembered, the bridge, the yellow coat, the warmth of hot chocolate instead of cold judgment. For the first time in her life, waking up didn't feel like stepping into trouble. Downstairs, the art studio already buzzed with voices. Brushes clinked in jars, children argued cheerfully about whose rainbow looked more rainbow-y. Lily smiled. Their laughter sounded like music from a world she'd never known. Good morning, sleepy painter. Clara greeted, carrying a tray of muffins. Hope you like blueberry. It's all I can afford when the electricity bill behaves. They both laughed. It was a small, ordinary laugh, but to Lily, it felt like sunlight landing on her skin. What's one small thing that makes you smile every morning? Write it in the comments, because your answer might remind someone else to smile today. After breakfast, Clara showed Lily a corner of the studio filled with half-finished canvases. Every piece here belongs to someone who left halfway through, she explained. Some moved away. Some got scared of not being perfect. Lily traced a finger across a dried streak of green paint. Did they ever come back? Some do, Clara said. Some send postcards. And some, well, they vanish like footprints after rain. The way Clara said it made Lily wonder which group Clara belonged to. If you're the one, would you finish what others left unfinished, or start your own? Drop finish or start below, let's see who our dreamers are. Hours drifted by. Lily lost herself in colors. Her brush danced, blues met yellows, sorrow met light. Children came and went. They whispered stories about monsters under their beds, and Lily painted them into gentle clouds instead. By sunset, Clara stood behind her, watching silently. That, Clara said, pointing at the painting, is the look of someone finding their voice. Lily looked at the canvas, a small figure standing beneath a bridge, holding a yellow umbrella against a storm. It's me, she whispered. But not the me that ran away. The me that stayed standing. Clara smiled. Then keep her safe. You might need her again. That night, Clara invited Lily to join her for a walk to the grocery store. The city was alive, streetlights flickered, buses sighed, people hurried with umbrellas that bloomed like flowers. They passed a newsstand. On the front page of a local paper was a photo that made Lily freeze. Her family. Her mother's face pale, her father speaking to reporters, Ethan's eyes red. Missing daughter police search for Lily Morgan. Lily's hands trembled. They're looking for me. Clara looked carefully at the headline, then at Lily. You didn't think they'd forget that quickly, did you? Lily's voice cracked. They never listened when I was there. Why now? Because people only shout your name when they can't hear you anymore, Clara said softly. If you left home and they finally cared, would you go back? Comment yes or no, and why. Your answer might appear in the next episode's shoutouts. They walked in silence until they reached a quiet park. The lamps glowed like halos. Clara sat on a bench and gestured for Lily to sit. You don't have to decide anything tonight, she said. But disappearing comes with rules. The first is, you can't look back too soon. Lily frowned. Rules? Clara nodded. I know because I disappeared once too. Lily's curiosity stirred. From who? My husband, Clara answered simply. He wanted me to give up painting. Said art made me difficult to love. So I left. Started over. I found peace, until peace started asking questions. There was sadness in her smile. Lily whispered, Did he ever find you? Clara shook her head. He stopped looking after a while. But sometimes, when the wind hits just right, I swear I can still hear him calling my name. Have you ever walked away to protect your happiness? Type 1 did or not yet. Someone else might need your courage. The park clock chimed 8. They headed back. But as they turned the corner toward the studio, two figures waited near the door, a man and a woman in dark coats. Clara froze. Stay behind me. The man stepped forward. We're looking for a girl, about 16, dark hair, brown eyes. She went missing from her family 2 days ago. He showed a photo. Lily's photo. Lily's breath caught. The woman beside the man added, We think she may have been seen in this area. Clara smiled politely. Sorry, officer. Haven't seen anyone like that. The man studied her eyes for a long moment. If you do, call this number. They left. When the car pulled away, Clara's shoulders slumped. Lily whispered, Why did you lie for me? Clara turned, eyes glistening. Because every runaway deserves one more day of peace before the world finds them. If you're the one, would you protect a stranger the way Clara protected Lily? Right, yes, if you would, or depends if you'd need to know their story first. Later that night, Lily sat by her window, staring at the police number on the card Clara had slipped into her pocket without saying a word. She didn't know what hurt more, that her family finally cared, or that it took losing her to make them see her. Downstairs, Clara locked up the studio. The click of the lock echoed through the quiet like a warning and a promise at once. The next morning broke in gold. Sunlight slipped through the blinds and painted stripes across Lily's face. For the first time since she had run away, she felt something she couldn't quite name, half peace, half worry. Downstairs, Clara was already sweeping the studio floor. She hummed an old tune, one of those songs that sounded both happy and sad depending on who was listening. Morning, Lily B, she said, using the nickname she had given her the night before. Morning, Lily answered, smiling weakly. Clara knocked softly. You okay? I don't know. Clara sat on the edge of the bed. You want to hear something strange? Lily nodded. When I left my husband, Clara said, I told myself I'd never cry for him again. But some nights, I still do. Missing someone doesn't mean you should go back, it just means your heart remembers what it hoped for. Lily looked up. Then what do I do with the missing? Turn it into art, Clara said. It's lighter to carry on a canvas than in your chest. What's something you still miss but learn to live without? Share it below, you never know who your story might comfort. Midnight crept in quietly. Lily opened her sketchbook again. This time she drew her mother's eyes, not angry, not judging, just tired. She added tiny drops of rain around them, as if the tears belonged to the sky instead. She taped the drawing to the window and whispered, I'm still here, Mom. I just need to find me first. Outside, the city lights blinked back like they understood. Downstairs, Clara watched from the stairwell, unseen. For the first time since she'd met Lily, she looked afraid, not of being caught, but of what the truth might do when it finally found them both. The next morning, Sam came early. He held out a folded newspaper. Miss Clara, look. Across the front page was another headline, New Lead in Teen's Disappearance. Under it, a grainy security photo from a nearby bridge. Two figures. One in gray. One in yellow. Lily gasped. "That's us." Clara's hands trembled as she took the paper. "They traced the bridge cameras," she murmured. "What will you do?" Sam asked. Clara looked at both of them. "We'll do what artists do, we'll make something beautiful before the storm catches us." Lily, Clara, and Sam painted all day. Walls bloomed with color, forests, oceans, skies full of second chances. When they were done, Clara said softly, "If the police come tomorrow, they'll see proof that disappearing doesn't mean being lost." That night, Lily felt calmer. Whatever happened next, whether she went home or built a new one here, she knew she wasn't just a disappointment anymore. She was a story in progress. And stories, as she had learned, don't end when people stop believing in them. They keep painting themselves into tomorrow. The next morning, sunlight poured through the tall apartment windows like spilled gold. Clara blinked awake to the sound of seagulls, the smell of toasted bread, and the soft hum of city life below. For the first time in years, she didn't wake to her family's critical whispers echoing in her head. No one calling her the disappointment. No one asking, "Why can't you be more like your brother, Charles?" It was quiet. Peaceful. But also frighteningly empty. She turned to her little notepad on the bedside table. Across the page, she had scribbled 3 words the night before: "Find the yellow coat." The market of second chances a week had passed, and the city was slowly beginning to open itself to her. The market of second chances a week had passed, and the city was slowly beginning to open itself to her. Every corner was an introduction. Every face, a mystery. At the open market one sunny Saturday, she caught a flash of bright yellow near a stall selling handmade jewelry. Her heart thumped, too fast. Could it be her? The same woman who had whispered, "When you're ready, I'll tell you who you really are." But before Clara could move, the crowd swallowed the color whole. "Ma'am, you okay?" the vendor asked kindly. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "Maybe I have," Clara said with a small smile. "Or maybe I'm finally waking up." Have you ever chased something you didn't understand, just because it felt right? Encourage them to drop a comment like, "Yes, I've been there." This simple prompt increases engagement and keeps the community connected emotionally. The cafe on the corner. Later that afternoon, Clara ducked into a small cafe near the riverside. The kind of place that smelled like cinnamon and old books. As she sipped her hot chocolate, she heard laughter behind her, a familiar kind of laughter that made her chest tighten. She turned. A man in a black coat sat at the window. He was sketching something, a woman, wearing a yellow coat. Her pulse skipped. She leaned closer. The sketch looked exactly like the woman she'd seen that night in the alley. "Excuse me," she said softly. The man looked up, his eyes warm but distant, as though his thoughts were oceans away. "Yes? Who's the woman you're drawing?" He smiled faintly. "My sister. She disappeared 5 years ago." The cafe seemed to go silent. Even the clock on the wall hesitated. "Disappeared?" Clara repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. The man nodded. "She said she needed to find someone. A lost girl. Someone who didn't belong where she was." Clara's hands trembled. What was her name?" He looked up again, his pen hovering mid-air. "Lila," he said softly. "Lila Montgomery." Clara's world stopped spinning. Lila Montgomery. That was her mother's maiden name. The photograph. When she got back to her apartment, Clara tore open the old box of family pictures she had taken in her rush to leave home. There, hidden between an old birthday card and a dusty newspaper clipping, was a faded photograph. A young woman in a yellow coat. Standing beside a smiling little girl. The little girl was Clara. She felt her knees weaken. The woman wasn't a stranger. She wasn't a ghost. She was her mother. Echoes of a lie. But how could that be? Her parents had told her mother died when she was 6. They had cried, held a funeral, told stories about how wonderful she had been. So why had she seen her, alive, on the night she ran away? Was her family lying all along? Comment below if you think Clara's parents are hiding something, or if maybe there's a deeper truth we don't know yet. Encourage them to pick a side, Team Truth or Team Secret. The call at midnight. That night, Clara couldn't sleep. She stared at the photo on her bedside table until her eyes blurred. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her heart skipped. She hesitated, then answered. Hello? Static crackled. Then, softly, a voice. Clara, the voice whispered. You're getting close. But don't trust anyone from the family, especially Charles. Click. The call ended. Clara sat frozen like an ice fish, her heart racing like thunder. She replayed the voice in her mind, it sounded just like her mother. She looked out the window. Across the street, in the reflection of a parked car, she saw something. Someone. A man in a black coat, watching her window. She grabbed her phone and whispered, "Oh no, what have I gotten myself into?" If this twist gave you chills, hit that like button and type "I'm hooked" in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, because the story part 2 will reveal the secret behind that phone call, and trust me, you won't see it coming. So quickly subscribe now if you're not in order not to miss it. See you in our next post. God bless and keep you.